Get fast, reliable internet for any budget. Now, qualifying customers can get Xfinity Internet free through the Affordable Connectivity Program. That's right, free high-speed internet from Xfinity. And Internet Essentials customers can get equipment included at no extra cost. Get started today.
We change our minds every day about a million things a day. This is no different. You can't be afraid to be wrong. You can't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm just going to rethink this thing. People are not dying getting the vaccine. I better rethink this thing. I'm going to go call my doctor and have a discussion one more time. It is okay to change your mind.
Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome again to the Diversity Dude podcast. I'm your host, Lambert Fisher, marriage and family therapist, and award-winning author and national speaker on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. Before I get started, I want to again express my gratitude for the Independent Book Publishers Association for making my new book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, an award-winning book. And I hope that no matter your role or position, if you're a helping professional in any way, you'll consider ordering Diversity in Clinical Practice to help you learn practical and encouraging strategies to meet the greatest variety of cultural needs possible for everyone you serve. And similarly, whether it be through one of my one-on-one relationship building efforts as a therapist or my informing and empowering efforts as an author speaker, my personal mission is to do my part to improve the world one strengthened relationship at a time. That's why I'm glad to be able to engage with you and encourage you on this podcast today. So today I want to talk to you about the acceptance of the inconvenience and convenience of multicultural awareness and diversity efforts. So in my most recent podcast, I addressed the common dilemma many people have as they wrestle with the reality that multicultural awareness and diversity is not their top priority. And as I described in detail, it's okay for there to be differences between people and their priorities. You don't have to care as much as someone else cares about their needs, but you can care that they care. And then you can show your consideration and care in word as well as in action. Well, this consideration reasonably, admittedly, takes for granted the idea that you're open to the idea of change in the first place, in consideration and care for others. And what happens when you don't actually want to change? As a therapist, I am grateful for the opportunity to be invited into people's vulnerable spaces, helping them wrestle with difficult dilemmas that they don't feel free enough to share in public, at work, or even at home. And one dilemma on this topic that I've heard multiple times is this. Somebody will say, Lambert, I feel bad. Not only that I don't care as much as others seem to care about all this multicultural awareness and diversity stuff, but I find it difficult to support those efforts, not because I hate other people. I'm not a racist, a sexist, or any other kind of ist. I just like the way things are. And I have enough to deal with in my life these days that I don't need one more thing to change. Is that bad? So, first, let me say this. While it may sound bad on the surface, at its core, I get it. Change can be hard, change can be inconvenient. Sameness has a sense of consistency, normalcy, peace of mind, predictability. Knowing what to expect and having one less piece of uncertainty in life can be a lot less stressful. And less stress is something I think every one of us can benefit from. That being said, these and many other advantages to consistency and sameness, although considered as it may be, there are still some disadvantages worth considering as well. One practical thing to consider is when it comes to the inconvenience of change as it relates to multicultural awareness and diversity, is the reality that the goal is not change for change's sake. It's not some ideological belief that nothing should stay the same forever and everything should continue changing, whether you like it or not. Instead, the goal is growth, where growth is needed. Many things can and should stay the same, and many things can and should change, evolve, grow, improve. How can we determine which is which? Well, that's where a second consideration comes in. A second thing to consider is the fact that your preference that the way things are, that they stay the same as they are, is likely influenced by the fact that the way things are right now benefits you in some way that you prefer not to lose. Maybe it's how things are done, or what resources you have, what opportunities you have, and more. It's very much understandable that you would want to keep the benefits of the way things are now, and the uncertainty of the outcome of future change can be scary. That being said, it's also worth considering that for many others, what's scary for them is the idea that things won't change. Things will always stay the way things are today, in part because they don't feel as though they have the same benefits and opportunities. In some way, they don't feel as seen or as heard or as understood or as valued as some others do. And they desire change to get that same opportunity to feel what others are trying to maintain. Let me be clear. Depending on the thing at risk of changing, there are many additional factors that can be at play, including present and past contributing factors, both positive and negative, intentional or unintentional, benefits gained by efforts, benefits gained by birthright, benefits unfortunately taken from others. And I seek not to make a once and for all type of statement that applies to every situation. Instead, I seek merely to encourage you to evaluate your openness to change based on the merit of the opportunity in front of you. Maybe you're at a company or organization that has the opportunity to start a new program to meet the needs of an underserved population that your company or organization doesn't have a lot of experience serving. It'll take some time and effort to learn how to do something new and to do it well. You have to learn new skills, build new relationships, and on the surface, it can all seem really inconvenient. However, my hope is that you'll be able to learn to be more convenienced than inconvenienced by select strategic change over time. Sure, there may be new skills that you need to learn, but those new skills can expand your knowledge, abilities, and broaden the impact you can have in the very service you're providing right now in your community, organization, but also far beyond. Sure, there may be things that new professional relationships that you may need to build. But as a result, instead of limiting your brainstorming efforts to a group of people with largely the same life and professional experiences, the creativity generated from brainstorming with a more diverse team of people who have very different sets of life experiences can far exceed your own abilities and expectations. Multicultural awareness and diversity efforts in your personal and professional life can admittedly seem like an unnecessary and laborious additional task if your main goal is only to reduce extra unnecessary tasks, especially when you're perfectly content the way things are. However, when you remember that many aspects of the way things are don't result in perfect contentment for everyone, and that in many ways change can be mutually beneficial in the end, then you can be more free to, at the very least, join in conversations exploring what needs there are that can be changed and what changes are ultimately worth the inconvenience, not just for yourself, but for others as well. My hope for you is that you'll be able to begin to see change not as automatically a negative and inconvenient thing, but instead, you'll be able to see that despite the understandable inconvenience of change, the mutually convenient growth possibilities that can come as a result can be well worth it in the end, not just for some of us, but for all of us. So, with that, I'll say thanks again for listening in to the Diversity Do podcast. And if you have any pressing diversity related questions that you'd like me to address on an upcoming podcast, or if your organization is in need of a shame-free and empowering guest speaker or training on this sensitive topic, then feel free to reach out to me directly at www.lambertsfisher.com. Also, again, feel free to check out my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, available at Amazon.com and a bookseller near you. And I look forward to addressing as many topics as possible in the future on this podcast to help you improve as many relationships as possible at work, at home, and in your community. And as always, remember this: you don't need to know everything about everyone to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
At Hy-Vee, we take pride of being part of the communities we serve. In 2021, we donated more than 14 million meals, and this year, we're committed to doing even more. For over 90 years, we've been the place that people turn in time of need, and we take that very seriously. That's why we're loading our semis full of food this week and making deliveries across the Midwest to help families this Easter. To join our effort, simply donate when you're at the checkout. Together, we can make a big difference for those in need.
For millions of Americans, the pandemic impacted our financial situations, and a lot of people lost their jobs. But that should not mean you have to lose your house if you can't pay for your mortgage. Listen, no need to feel ashamed if you missed a payment or 2 or 3, because there's a local organization that's willing to help you get caught up on those payments so you can keep your home. Let me tell you about the Minnesota Home Ownership Center. It's a nonprofit whose sole purpose is to prevent you from going into foreclosure. The Minnesota Home Ownership Center has a network of organizations around the state to review everything with you, explain your options, and then advocate for you to get the help you need. And get this, they won't charge you because it's all free. Check out hocmn.org or give them a call at 651-410-1086 to set up an appointment. You worked hard to get into that house. Let Minnesota Home Ownership Center help you stay in it.
Did you know I was the Mommy Slam Dunk Champion?
Really?
Yes, really don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, mama!
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.